for the whole board.
Well, good evening, everybody. If you want to go ahead, I'm going to call the meeting to order. And everybody, please join us in doing the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Could you go ahead and take the roll, Aaron?
Councilmember Dietrich.
Here.
Councilmember Pointer.
Here.
Councilmember Sherburne.
Here.
Councilmember Gray.
Here.
Councilmember Schmidt.
Sure. Okay, everybody's here. And before I go to the approval of the agenda, we've got some students here today. And if you wouldn't mind each standing and telling me who you are and where you're going to school and what you're planning to do next fall.
My name's Payne Bose. I go to East Buchanan, and next fall I'm gonna go to Black Hawk.
Okay, awesome.
My name's Ashley Childers. I go to East Buchanan, and my plans for next fall are going to Hawkeye and get a degree in automotive technology.
Good for you.
Hi, my name's Tristan Lindsay. I'm going to East Buchanan, and my plans next year are go to Kirkwood and do something in animal science.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you for joining us tonight. Are there any changes to the agenda for tonight? Anything we need to update?
No changes.
Anything else? Okay, with that, I'll take an approval for the agenda.
I move for approval of the agenda as presented.
I'll second that. Okay, any further discussion or comments? Marion?
Yes.
Linda? Yes. Brian?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
And Joe?
Yes.
Okay, next is our public input period. Please come to the podium and state your name and address for the record before proceeding with your comments. Individual remarks are limited to 5 minutes, with the overall public input period limited to 30 minutes. Under Iowa Open Meetings Law, the city council can take no formal action on comments given during public input which do not relate to action items on the agenda. Would anybody like to speak to the council tonight? I would. Okay, I am.
Ian Meyer, 1543 210th Street, Manchester, Iowa. I talked to Mr. Vick Tuesday, I think, and Wednesday and Thursday. And Jim wanted to know what changes he wanted to make to his lease, so he could look them over, and talk to his attorney. Well, Jim's attorney sent a letter out to the city attorney, Mr. Peters, on Friday before noon. So he could not give me that information this morning when I asked for it. But he did tell me that Jim would have to have a personal plane there because the airport is the Nipias Airport. So I did some research and I called Amy Walter from the compliance department at the FAA, and we talked on the phone for a while, and I have a email she sent me, which I can give you each a copy. I'm gonna read it. Just pass it. Yeah, I think so. She said, "Thank you for your inquiry regarding the opportunity to sublease your private hangar to another pilot at the Manchester Municipal Airport, Manchester, Iowa, C-27. If this is allowed in the airport's minimum standards and your land lease with the sponsor allows for subleasing, then we typically refer this to the sponsor to review and provide any comments. We recommend reviewing the lease terms with the potential tenant and the sponsor. A few key things to consider. It is good practice to ensure the continuation of access to the hangar by the sponsor for any emergency or inspection related needs. And the use of the hangar is aeronautical and compatible with airport operations. Please let me know if you have any questions or need additional information. Thank you, Amy J. Walter." And she also stated that a lot of pilots, when they no longer fly, they lease their hangar out to a pilot that is active, which is exactly what Jim is doing. She said that's very common. They see it all the time. So there's absolutely no reason Jim cannot sublet his entire hangar to the person that is waiting until this is over. So if I have any more questions, then I am gonna forward this email on to his attorney, because I think Mr. Peters sent a letter, and when I talked to his attorney this afternoon, they did not have that letter yet. So I'm gonna give them this so they can continue on with whatever they need to do. And furthermore, Jim's been at the airport for a long time and he's done a lot of things for the airport. He supplied a courtesy car to the Manchester Airport for over 10 years at no cost to the city for all repairs, maintenance, and insurance. He let the Friends of Army Aviation use his hangar on 2 occasions to set up their operation while they were at the Manchester Airport giving rides in the Huey helicopter. And part of that time, he wasn't even in town, but he let him do it because he knew they were fine. He sold his land across from the Manchester Airport to the city of Manchester. He gave an easement over another part that they requested. Didn't argue about the price, just whatever it was, it was. He paid around $6,000 of his personal funds to update the Welcome Center at the Manchester Airport. This included flooring, leather furniture, conference chairs, paint, new landscaping, and rock. He did this as a way of giving back, and so it was a place everybody could take pride in. This was all at no cost to the city of Manchester. To give credit where credit is due, other pilots at the airport helped with the labor on this project and donated some items also. He sublet hangar space to other pilots that needed a place when others would not. He always welcomed them and still to this day has many lasting friendships with these pilots. So it's not fair to say he has not been good for the airport. He used all his numbered aircraft for the hippiest thing. He's the only one that had airplanes. He was the airplane dealer. He would have 10 to 15 planes at a time. You know, sometimes he's down to 5, but we wouldn't even be here today if he wouldn't have been for his aircraft. And I think it's very, very unfair the way he's being treated. And he's not letting his hangar empty. Somebody's gonna move in when this is completed, if it ever gets completed. So thank you for listening.
Thank you, Ann. Anybody else who'd like to speak to the council tonight? Okay, hearing that, I'm going to go ahead and close the public input and we'll move on to the consent agenda. First item is I need a motion. Everything's a little slow yet today. We were without phones and everything today. If people were trying to call the city, we were without phones and internet first thing this morning. Okay, motion to approve the minutes from the September 9th city council meeting. Our September 16th committee is a whole meeting and our September 23rd tour of the wastewater treatment plant meeting. Next, I need a motion to adopt resolution 97, approving the bills and expense report. I need a motion to acknowledge the receipt of the city reports from P and Z's minutes, monthly activity revenue, expense, and fund balance reports, the library board minutes, and the wastewater report. I need a motion to approve downtown incentive program payments to Dulcie Mangold for Dolce Vita property, Steve Palmer for his property at 112 North Madison, and Bill Corcoran for Corcoran's Barber Service. Next, I need a motion to adopt resolution 98, approving the hiring of 2 seasonal employees for the city's volleyball program and their salaries. Next, I need a motion to adopt resolution 99, and this is an amendment to the employee handbook section 2.19 regarding the smoking, vaping, and tobacco usage. I mean, this is.
Yeah, actually, one of the things we talked about, and we did this in the resolution, and Jim talked to me end of last week. We were looking at removing and striking the terms while on duty or to make that sentence whole in that 3rd paragraph of that employee handbook. And talking with Jim a little bit more, it might be more prudent for us just to strike that 3rd paragraph altogether. Just because the Smoke-Free Air Act takes care of a lot of that stuff. And the concern we have is any tobacco use. Well, we do have a number of employees that do chew. And the Smoke-Free Air Act does not address the use of tobacco in that manner. So
It's only about airborne.
it's all about airborne. So, I think the council can approve the resolution with what we initially proposed was striking that while on duty or phrase, or we can just strike the whole 3rd paragraph That's not how it's written on here, Aaron.
So we would probably, if you want to strike the whole third paragraph, I would suggest we just remove it and have it on the next meeting. That way we can have the correct resolution.
Yeah.
I'll
see that happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we will bring resolution 99 back to you on October 14th with that third paragraph.
Do we have to do an amendment to the agenda then, or?
When we approve the consent agenda, we'll approve it without.
Oh, by
item
excluding,
three.
by excluding
Item
us?
3.6.
Perfect, thank you. All right, next, I need a motion to adopt, resolution 100, and that's approving the quitclaim deeds, that you have listed here. I'll let Tim address those. with questions.
Actually, Aaron is a little bit more versed on this than
Oh, okay.
Peter's.
There are a couple of vacated alleys that were vacated many years ago that have they didn't show up in the abstract as having been completed and transferred out. We're cleaning up. These quitclaim deeds to clean up, looks like alleys that were vacated some time ago. They showed up on, a sale that's going on, Jane Hansen brought to our attention. So these came up in title opinions that Steve Carr showed. So really, we're not giving up anything we don't think we have.
Right, they don't show up anywhere as city alleys anymore, not on Beacon or anywhere, so it was done in 78, is when, the resolution was done. And it's, they're trying to wrap up the Mary Lauren's estate. So we just need to get this piece of paper done, which was already the intention of the council, and I think all the different offices thought it had been done.
Yeah.
Auditors, recorders, all of those, so.
Okay. All right, so we need a motion to approve resolution 100 and then resolution 101 as well, which also is doing the same thing. Then I need a motion to approve resolution 102, and that's approving the preliminary and plat of new house second subdivision.
Yeah, and if you like, I talk about this one a little bit. Randy's here as well, but, Newhouse is subdividing off some land. This is part of the sale that they have going on. But part of this is dividing it off as some existing buildings and then floodplain.
Okay, next then I need a motion to approve resolution 103, and that's preliminary and final plat, that's hard to say twice. A whole second subdivision.
Again, similar situation, where they're trying to grade off, where there's a body shop already existing and storage units. And they're splitting that off, so those can be sold off separately.
Okay. And finally, I need a motion to approve acknowledgement of the receipt of the unpaid nuisance mowing and nuisance abatement fees. And they're going to be approved with certification to Delaware County Treasurer for collection on property taxes. With that, I'll take a motion and a second and then open it up for discussion.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda without item 3.6.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Okay. Any other further questions? Them all answered. Okay, Joe,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
Linda?
Yes.
Mary Ann?
Yes.
Okay, next, we have no public hearings tonight. So our first item is an item of discussion regarding the update on the airport hangar lease. We're not gonna. Yep,
We haven't, I mean, I know there's some talk how we treated Mr. Hill poorly or not. We really haven't treated him at all yet on this lease. What happened was they gave us this notice he gave us this notice at the meeting. That said he signed the lease, and our lease provides for it to kind of be approved by the city. The assignments are not just automatic. And I'm not recommending anything drastic in changes, but this will be something council will deal with. I wanted to be sure that Mr. Hill was aware that we had not, that his assignment unilaterally done is not in effect yet, that it has to be approved. And I want to make sure he had plenty of time, so we sent it certified mail, and I asked that it be put on the agenda for October 14th, give him plenty of time to come before us. In that time, as you were informed, I got a letter on Friday. We were at the time before I got the letter from the attorney, I was working on drafting a lease that would simply be continuation of what he had, but with some of the new terms for compliance with FAA matters. And I got that, I was talking to Tim when he showed me that letter, and I said, well, I'm not gonna do anything till I get a chance to read the letter. So I didn't finish drafting the lease because I wanted a chance to digest the letter, and frankly, on Friday afternoon, I kind of lost a little interest in finishing it. But talk to Tim tonight, I'll go back, I will respond to the attorney's letter, and I'll prepare what I recommend, Tim and I are recommending for terms of the lease, and it'll be here in front of you guys to talk to on October 14th.
Any other further questions for Jim?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, next, we have a motion to proceed with the FAA grant funding application for the airport runway resurfacing project. I'll let you speak to this, Tim.
Basically, we received a go letter from the FAA saying they're willing to move forward with the airport improvement program portion of this. We already have the bilateral infrastructure loan, or not loan, it's funding, the bill funding. So we had a pre-construction or pre-bid or whatever it is, design
There you go.
meeting. It was a pre-design meeting today with the FAA. We do have to update our doing business with disadvantaged business enterprises. There's a percentage of disadvantaged businesses in the area that we have to at least try to make sure we incorporate into the bidding procedures and the construction procedures at 5.7%. So we acknowledge that. We have to update our DVE and submit that off to the feds. The mayor signed the policy, so we can get that presented. Basically, the timeline right now is 30% design completion by January, with 100% completion and the grant submission by April 1st. It's just formalities of how they proceed with things. What we are doing though with this project is we initially talked about doing resurfacing and drain tiles on the edges. We're gonna do the drain tiles as an alternate bid in case things come in too high. At least we can get the resurfacing done. So hopefully we can get both done within our budget grant. But if not, we'll drop the drain tiles off and do what the resurfacing is. So anticipated 50-day working days to do the project. The runway would be shut down during those 50 days, so we can work with our aerial sprayers out there as well, so we're not impacting them during that busy time frame.
You talked about having to have 30% pre-design done by November,
No, December
December,
or January 1st.
and then the remainder of the design, right? Not the actual project done, but the
Correct.
remainder of the
Design.
design
Right.
by April 1st.
So this is the approval of the 95 match?
95.
We're continuing the application process. It's not approving the actual grant, it's the application process.
I'll second.
I have a motion and second. Any other further discussion? Bill,
Yes.
Mary Ann,
Yes.
Linda. Yes. Brian
Yes.
and Joe.
Yes.
Thank you. Next, Westbrook Development Incentives Action. We're talking to the city council about the incentives for his next phase.
If the council is in favor of moving forward with the city manager preparing a development agreement, I have a time scheduled with our bonding attorney and our finance person because of the 3 developments we have going on. I'll be meeting with Maggie Berger from Spear Financial on October 9th. One of the things we did talk about last time was figuring out this revolving loan fund. There's potential. I want to talk with Maggie first and the bonding attorneys. We do have some reserves in our TIF fund. There's potential because this is a TIF project anyway. We could put that into that project. And then that would, when it gets paid back, it goes back to a revolving loan fund that we can use for future economic development projects, whether it's housing or commercial or industrial. So if that's something the council's in favor of me working on moving forward, that's what I'd like to do.
I like that idea. And using the funds are,
That we have in
yes,
reserves.
perfect, I think.
I'll make the motion to approve item 6.3.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion or questions? Joe?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
Linda?
Yes.
And Mary Ann?
Yes.
Okay, next, a motion to approve a request from Devin Brooks for bow hunting on a property owned by Steve Palmer that's within the city limits.
Yeah, does everybody know where Steve Palmer owns
Mhm.
property here in town?
Yep.
Along the Macocata River, right on that fringe. Gentleman wants to do some bow hunting on that location. It does not abut to any houses. There, is there a map? Did you-
There's a map on there.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a limited application. We did provide him with an application to fill out that provides us with his information, signature from the property owner that is allowing it as well. Basically, make sure they pass their hunter safety course. We're aware of what's going on and where they're at. And it's an annual application. Every year they have to submit the application.
Devin Brooks, the Iowa State Patrol officer,
Yes.
so I'm sure he'll probably have his license, at least I hope.
Yeah, so a copy of the application was provided to you, so.
This is modeled after what City of Elkader uses.
It'd be kind of neat to kind of see what he be able to do up there.
So this other document that you attached, because it says throwing and shooting, it lists arrows in there.
That's our city code. That's the
So
reason
you're
we
good.
need authorization from the city council to permit that.
So it's an exception.
Mhm.
All right, with that, I need a motion and a second. Unless you, have any further questions? No?
I'll make the motion to approve item 6.4.
Okay,
Well, second.
okay. All right, Joe?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
Linda?
Yes.
Mary Ann?
Yes.
And Bill?
Yes.
Okay. Next, I have a motion to appoint Lynch Dallas PC as the employer representative for the purpose of negotiating the police union contract, which shall take effect as of July 1st of 2025.
We are in the timeframe, where the union's starting to, put their information together. We'll do our union contract negotiations starting probably late November, early December, until we have valuations back. We are kind of at a loss as to what we have for funding to work with. But if there are other things that are non-funding specific, workplace, conditions, stuff like that, those are items we can typically address, hammer out. Bill Supple Jr. was the one that had provided that service to us for a number of years. Prior to that, it was his father, senior. Bill has retired now, and so I would like to work with Amy Reasoner. We've worked with her on a number of things here at the city of Manchester. I feel she does a good job.
We've had very good luck with our people that we have negotiated
Yeah.
with, so I would hope that it would continue, so I would make a motion to appoint Lynch Dennis.
I'll second that. Any further questions or comments? Mary Ann?
Yes.
Linda?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
And Joe?
Yes.
All right, next, I need a motion to approve the sale of our 2010 F-250 Water Department truck to MR Construction for $3,101.
No. $3,001.
$3,001. Thank you very much. I just didn't say that
You want
correctly.
to sell it for nothing?
Yeah, I don't think they want to come up with every 99.
I make a motion to approve to sell.
Okay, Bill. Okay. Any further questions or comments? Bill,
Yes.
Brian,
Yes.
Linda.
Yes.
Mary Ann.
Yes.
And Joe.
Yes.
All right. Next, I need a motion to approve the purchase of a 2024 Ford F-250 SD XL for the street department from Rundy Auto Group at a cost of $46,355. And I think we talked about this the other day.
This is the budgeted, it is sitting on the lot at Rundy's. It is below the state bid right now, but if we were to order the truck and get it 2025, it'd be $3,000 more.
I say we go for it now. I make a motion to approve.
Wait here a second.
I'll second
All right, and I know that they have this in their budget
Yes.
for,
And we have $50,000 budgeted for it.
yep,
the truck, and then we'll purchase a Tommy lift to put on the truck, next.
Correct, okay. Mary Ann?
Yes.
Joe?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
Linda?
Yes.
Okay, next I need a motion to approve the purchase of a 2024 Ford F-350 truck for the water department from Victory Ford at a cost of $48,993.32. And I believe Chad brought us up to speed about this the other day too.
Yeah, this truck is actually, we were able to get it ordered, this one, with all the options we specifically wanted to replace the truck that was damaged. This is basically mimicking that same truck. Somehow Victory Ford was able to order it where Ronnie's couldn't, so we were moving forward with Victory Ford. This will get it ordered, potentially they can start building it in October, or we'll have it in November, then we'll have a lot of work to do to transfer everything over.
Is this in the budget?
It is.
I'll make a motion to approve item 6.8.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Alright. Any further questions or comments? Joe?
Yes.
Linda?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
And Mary?
Yes.
Alright. And that concludes our regular agenda items. We'll do some engineering updates. Jason, are you the only one here tonight?
Here, I'm not able to.
Okay, thank you.
I think a couple of things here. First of all, I'll talk to Chick Bryan Excavating. We're next on the stop for the paving out there for Commerce Court, middle of next week is what I'm hearing. We'll start. Latest indication I've got is they're gonna do half width paving out there, so they'll paver with either the west or east side. While that's curing, they'll have a hand crew in to start working on pouring out the cul-de-sac and then come back, paver for the other half, working their way back out towards Burrington Road. So it's not a bad thing that the rock's been sitting out there from just everything settling, getting parts. Too bad we couldn't have a little rain to go with it, but I think they've been watering it occasionally out there to try and get that limestone to be activated on that rock, so we're in good shape for paving. And then Mr. Hildebrand has probably got about 95% of his paving work complete now out there. Just a couple small pours left, and one specifically, I think the east half of the return radius where it comes into I don't know what the name of the street is. It's Burrington Road west of Highway 13, but it's not Burrington Road anymore.
Yes, it is.
Is it still? Oh, it is now because it's been annexed to the city, so it's Burrington Road
Yeah.
still over there. So I anticipate here, he's waiting for some cure time on some pours from last week. So as soon as that gets done, he'll be able to complete the rest of his work out there. And I guess if there's any questions I can answer for anything that we've been working on, be happy to do that.
Okay, thanks, Jason. Okay, Jim?
I really don't have anything other than we just talked about the airport, so.
Okay. All right, Tim?
All right, Jason did talk to Copper with, the asphalt paving company. They're thinking 2 weeks at the earliest they'll be able to get here, and there's possibility to be later than that. So they are considering waiting till spring. Our bid price is the same price, so I think we're better off if we just push this off till spring to resurface Main Street. We'll get one more year of service out of the existing life, and then they can do it first thing in the spring. That way we're not rushing. One of the concerns we have is temperatures change. They have to have it warm enough for them to put the asphalt down. We don't want it, so it's too cold. And ending up having it where we have it partially paved and not ready to go. So that's the East Main Street. Recommendation there is to wait till spring. Want to thank the council for allowing me to attend both conferences, League of Cities Conference in Sioux City. The session that I held with a couple of my colleagues from Waverly and Oline, that was one that had drawn the highest ratings from the event. Apparently people did appreciate us talking about how not to get yelled at, and some of the things we need to deal with as councils when we do get yelled at. And talking about staff as to how to de-escalate things, and when it's okay to say, you know, this conversation's not going anywhere. It's just getting worse, so we need to walk away from it. So it was humorous. We did take a couple clips from some videos we've seen in other communities, so that was a good one. The ICMA conference in Pittsburgh, I did receive a scholarship to pay for my registration to that, so the council was going out for that. A lot of the sessions out in Pittsburgh was on regenerative artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, Gemini from Google. And so how we're using that in government work, how we're going to incorporate that in our daily lives and trying to get on top of that. So that is something I will be working with staff as we start looking forward and moving things forward on that. Because there's some policies we'll have to look at, because when you generate that data, you have to do some citing, but you also have to verify the accuracy. And so that's some of the challenges we're gonna run into. Make sure we have accurate information and that we generate if we're using artificial intelligence. But those are things that, again, I got a lot out of the sessions and I appreciate the opportunity to go to.
Thank you. Aaron?
The audit is scheduled for the end of the month, October 28th and 29th. They will be here. We've already started getting them reports because they do a lot of stuff from their office. And then the household hazardous waste and electronics cleanup was held on Saturday. That's put on by the Delaware County Solid Waste Commission along with the Butte landfill. And there's some conversation going on about maybe, because those appointments filled up immediately, almost as soon as word was out. So there's some talk about looking at ways that we can maybe have it as an ongoing a spot to drop off the hazardous materials or the electronics. So I'm assisting with solid waste right now. So as I get more details, I will share them with the council.
Thank you.
Good idea.
Okay. Brian,
I don't.
Linda,
I have a question. Has it ever been brought to the county to help pay for any of the airport expenses? Because the county does use the airport for the spraying, and I know that the big ag businesses make lots of money doing that. Has it ever been presented to the county?
No, I have not been asked to go before. Now, previous to my coming here, my predecessor did approach the county and council, I believe, talked about implementing TIF out there, adding that as an urban renewal area. That did expire because it was an economic development urban renewal area. So we want to work with the county. If the county is receptive to reinstituting that, that would be one way for us to do that.
Okay, well, I think it'd be a good idea because, you know, they were in the airport out too and we're stuck with the bill, so. So, all right, thank you.
We can have that on a future agenda.
so,
And that's it.
okay, all right, I just wanted to double check before I move on. Okay,
That's a good.
okay. Mary Ann? Nothing. Okay, Joe?
Just thinking about down south with hurricanes and stuff like that. I got a couple of friends that I was in the military with that are going down there to work on it and stuff, and sounds like it's pretty ugly down there, so. That's it.
Nothing, solid waste, I wanted to help Saturday morning, but due to a commitment, I couldn't make it, but I heard when they packed them in, I mean, it was like filled, and like, I have my own stuff to get rid of. My wife was like mad, I couldn't get it.
Yeah.
So I'm with you, I think we'll try to work on, trying to see if we can find a drop off spot,
Mhm.
you know, Duke will take some of them TVs, but it's still $15 or something funny.
Yeah, Cleasers will still take them, but you know, maybe rather than doing, you know, and this is all still for discussion, doing just one day, having a spot where people can drop those off as they have them. So, you know, it would just be finding a location and figuring out the best way to do it and probably working with Cleasers and then Butte landfill.
Yep, yep. Well, that's all I got. Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna ask the kids, our students from East Buchanan. They're still kids to me, but anyway, you wanna go ahead? You have any questions?
What are the trucks being used for that you're buying?
We use the pickup trucks on a daily basis, depending on which department they're in. The water department will have a toolbox in the back of it that is used towards installing meters, tearing out meters, working on fire hydrants and stuff like that. Street department does use a heavy duty truck to haul materials around, whether we're using it to spray paint lines and stuff like that. So they're used on a daily basis.
Okay,
I know you guys talked about subdivision. I was just wondering like where that's at.
We have a couple different subdivisions we're working on right now. One that the engineer was talking about is next to the Casey's on Highway 2013. That's a subdivision right there. The other subdivision that was discussed regarding the economic development program is on West Marion Street, where we have some apartment complexes that are being built.
And the whole something else.
Homes and new houses are outside the city limits, but they're within the 2 mile extraterritorial zoning, therefore we review those.
So along with the trucks, where are you guys getting the funding to buy these trucks?
We use our road use tax funds to purchase pickups for the street department. Water department pays for its own water department trucks out of water fees, water bills.
They have to come to us every year and kind of tell us what they're thinking about for their future budgets, so anyway. Okay, a couple things I just want to add. First and foremost, I want to thank everybody and beautiful flower arrangement with my mother-in-law passing. We really appreciate you guys being very kind and working with us during that, so thank you. Again, prayers out to all the small cities in North Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, and so forth. I mean, we think we have problems. They've got bigger problems than all of us combined right now, and our hearts and prayers go out to all those people. Matt Ashbrenner, what he's doing out there for them is amazing. So, out of their little airport, making sure they're doing food drops and supply drops and everything for everybody. And, wrapped up our season of kindness or year of kindness with everybody. I'd like to thank everybody for everything they did to join in with us on that and mark those things, and the people who got behind it. And we want to keep it going. We got the momentum started. So we're going to be doing the seasons of kindness over the next 12 months. So we'll have fall, winter, spring, and summer times of that. So stay tuned for that. We'll be putting more information out there for that. So with that, I will take a motion from Linda, a second from Brian to adjourn, and we are adjourned. Thank you for joining us tonight, everybody.